Okay, guys, I think we're just gonna get started. We might have some more people funneling through throughout the call, but we're just gonna jump on in here. Um, Thank you guys for making it out today. This will be an interesting community call because we will be demoing kETH and the LST Optimizer. And then following that, we will go through a list of DAO initiatives and give those of you a chance to talk about any of the temp checks or grant applications or proposals that you have live on the DAO governance forum. So with that being said, we can just jump right in. So for those of you who aren't familiar, kETH is a brand new product that is currently in testnet on Garoli and coming to mainnet very, very soon. Um, it is basically a pool of LST tokens right now, including rETH, stETH, and dETH that is managed by an automated account manager that provides an optimized yield for holders of kETH. So as you guys will see here in a moment, anybody can go to the LST Optimizer dapp, deposit any rETH or ST tokens or dETH, and receive kETH and start earning an optimized yield based off of the basket of those LST tokens. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. Awesome. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see that. So if you guys, head over to your browser and go to either getketh.com or you can go straight to the dapp, um, which is dapp.getketh.com. Connect your wallet and you will see the LST Optimizer UI right here. So it's super simple. At the bottom, there are three different vaults. This first vault right here on the left is the one I was talking about. This is where you can deposit LST tokens to receive kETH. You can even check out the target yield that is consistently shooting for at all times. Right now, it's at 6%. It's a little under it right now, but this rate varies, over time. But it always stays really, really close to the target APR percentage. So in this vault, you would click it. I'm just going to choose stETH. You choose an amount, click confirm, max it out, approve it. Boom. Confirm it one more time. Look at that, super fast. Boom, just like that. So after depositing that LST, I should have received kETH in my wallet. There's also a second vault here called Deposit dETH, aka the dETH vault. This is where you can deposit dETH and receive kRaptETH, which is similar to kETH, provides an optimized yield based off of curated dETH that is curated on the back end to create an optimized yield based off of the highest dETH rates available in the Stakehouse protocol. But continuing what we're doing here, once you have your kETH, you can even stake it in this last vault here to receive BSN rewards on top of the yield that you're earning by holding your kETH. So I should have received some kETH. Let's go ahead and stake it. As you can see, guys, the UI is super smooth, easy flow. It's only a couple clicks and you are optimizing your yield. Just like that. Awesome. So now that I have kETH staked, over time, I just got to jump in here and my BSN earnings will accrue and there will be a claim button that allows me to claim them. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but before I staked my kETH, there was some I did have an amount of BSN rewards sitting here to be claimed. Um, but it's now says 0. That's because whenever you stake more kETH, whatever outstanding balance you have automatically claims to your wallet. So that was automatically claimed to my wallet, and now it's accruing more rewards over time, and soon I'll be able to claim them. So yeah, that's basically a rundown of what's coming to mainnet. This has been on testnet for a little while now. So hopefully some of you guys have had a chance to play around with this and practice it. We're super excited for it to hit mainnet here soon because this is going to change the entire LSD ball game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that demo, but now we can jump into some of the governance proposals that I mentioned earlier. So first up on the list, since we have some guests here, and I see Alex from oSnap in the chat, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump to this one. Um, so oSnap went ahead and posted a temperature check about implementing oSnap for optimistic governance for Blockswap. I don't want to spoil the cake or anything like that. So Alex, if you would want to hop up here and talk about the temp check, you're more than welcome to at this time.
Perfect. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Is it possible to also, John's here from the UMA side as well. He was saying he had some issues with being able to talk on the call.
Oh, like he can't unmute himself?
Yeah, I think maybe it was like permissions thing.
Really? That's weird because you can.
Yeah, I know it's.
Hmm. Hey, Derek, do
Well,
you know what might be going on here?
Everybody has permission to talk.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, I can go ahead and it's not a big deal, I don't think. Um, but yeah, so I put up a temperature check a few weeks ago on just working with uh, the UMA team to deploy an oSnap module, and really at a high level, what oSnap is, the value prop is basically we set out to solve this problem where we wanted to keep DAOs able to keep using their traditional tools like Snapshot and gasless voting and all the other great benefits that come with that, such as using the strategies and not having to like mess too much with the actual governance process. But we also realized that the actual snapshot is more of a signaling mechanism. There's this heavy reliance on multi-sig signers to actually have to make those execute those transactions. So what oSnap does is you can include the transaction payloads inside the snapshot proposal, and then on a successful vote, if the quorum is met, minimum voting period, those transactions can be proposed and executed. And this whole process now with we just came out with Snap or oSnap version 2, and this whole process is automated. The proposal kind of goes through the flows and into the details of how it actually works and transactions are verified. But at a high level, what this is doing is essentially allowing the transactions to be executed inside that snapshot proposal. And it's very transparent. So when you're voting on the snapshot vote or the snapshot proposal, you'll actually be able to see the transactions that are going to be executed if this transaction passes.
okay, awesome. Thanks, Alex. John, did you get your mic to work by chance? I'm guessing not.
I think so.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, here
Cool.
I am. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to like add to a cool feature of this is that the gas is paid for too. Like basically once these transactions are approved through governance on Snapshot, there's basically bots running in the background that are monitoring snapshot and going to post the bond on chain automatically. And after the challenge window, where everything is checked to make sure that everything was done correctly, it will execute it automatically too on the DAO's behalf. So it's kind of just like an extra service provided by these bots running in the background. And these bots don't have any like special permissions within the system or anything, because any address could technically make the proposal on chain once it's passed on snapshot. And that was kind of what the V1 did. There would be like a button that pops up in the snapshot interface where you can propose on chain, and then after the challenge window of a day or two, execute on chain. So we just tried to make that process as automatic and easy as possible. So it really helps with DAOs that especially have more distributed tokens. Like you can have truly decentralized governance because small token holders don't have to pay that gas to vote. And then the DAO is actually not even paying for the gas to execute. It's just kind of running automatically once the DAO's will is expressed on snapshot. So it feels a lot more seamless, and you don't have to change anything else about like the snapshot workflow. And the whole install process is basically under a minute too. It's just like a small smart contract module that attaches to a safe to like relay these transactions through, and then a module that's attached to your snapshot space.
Sweet. Yeah, I know. I remember you guys gave me the rundown a little while back, and the gasless transactions part of it is definitely super appealing. And I remember you guys were mentioned had like I think like a little demo video. I don't have the link on me, but feel free to send it in the chat here on like the text chat for this voice channel. So if anybody here is curious in seeing what the user experience or what the setup would look like, it can be available for people to click. So, do you? Oh,
I have a question, if that's all right, guys. So speaking specifically to how the Blockswap DAO currently operates, I'd be curious how you guys would see improvements to the flow. And just to kind of go over again, there's tally votes, which bring tokens the out of the DAO treasury, and that could be executed via smart contracts. And then there's snapshot for signaling and voting on the community once the tokens are out. So how does this system fit inside the current flow, or is it replacing parts of this? And what would that look like specifically for the DAO?
So you could potentially replace the on-chain vote that you're doing with Tally, and just vote on snapshot with the actual transaction payloads defined in those snapshot proposals. And the benefit there is like obviously the gas savings, and you get more voter participation too. Like we've seen a lot of voter drop off just when there's any gas cost at all to participate. And especially for like smaller token holders that do want to participate in governance, but it just might not make economic sense. And so you kind of wind up with much more centralized governance if you're limited to just on-chain voting because of that gas cost.
And everything being consolidated, and I mean it simplifies the flow a little bit versus signaling on snapshot and then having a separate vote on tally. But yeah, like what John was saying, it's flexible on how you basically want to use it and fit it into your current flow.
Yeah, and I think that that's actually probably the most common use case is just moving tokens around from a treasury that we've seen from DAOs that have implemented oSnap. And there's a transaction builder within Snapshot too, which we're working on improving, but it makes it really easy to just create the transactions that you want to execute. Like if you're doing a token transfer, you would say like, okay, this token, here's how many we're going to transfer, and it'll build the transaction data for you. And then you can see all the transaction data within the Snapshot interface when you're voting on it so that you know like what you're actually voting on to execute.
Sweet. Does anybody else have any other questions to ask Alex or John? Going once, going twice. Okay, cool. Well, unless either of you guys have anything else to add, thank you so much for explaining your temp check. And for anybody else who's interested in learning more, it is posted on our governance forum, and John has sent a demo link in this chat channel. But we shall move on. So next up, I see a representative from SafeStake is here. SafeStake has a temp check right now to collaborate with Blockswap mainnet promotion. I'll let you. Where are you at? Dimitro. I hope I did not butcher your name. I'll let you explain that one if you're willing to step up here and talk about it. Dimitro. Okay. Well, maybe he's having mic problems. So we'll come back to that one. I also see we have representatives from Tea House and Gamma. So um, let's just Pat from Tea House, would you like to talk about your proposal for allocating BSN to incentivize kETH and rETH LP pool?
Yeah, for sure. Can you guys hear me clearly?
I can.
Okay, so sorry about all of the noises, like in my background. I'm outside. Actually, the proposal was, let me introduce T House a bit to all of you. So T House is a liquidity manager. So basically, we manage portfolio concept. So we have two products. The first one is managed vault. So the managed vault will be like like a more like a fund ETF style. So you have a lot of position inside of that. And the other one is permissionless vault, which is your LP position. So basically what we do is we calculate and we predict the future price, and we place our price range in order to earning the swapping fee from all of the B3. For the reason B3 is you can customize the price range. So what we are proposed to the DAO is we suggest to allocate certain amount of BSN token to the kETH to dapp Ethereum pool on Uniswap v3, for the reason that the user can now only access to kETH pool from the LST Optimizer application. And when they are redeeming it back to, or you can say swapping it back to Ethereum, they have to wait certain times. So that is a point that we want to solve the problem. So we are thinking about having, deploying a kETH to Ethereum pool on our website. And after a month of launching of the kETH, we will backtest our strategy on the kETH to Ethereum pool and to see the APR of that. And after that, after all of the evaluation, so let's say maybe the APR is 2%, while the rETH to Ethereum pool stands for a 4% at the Uniswap liquidity pool. We will calculate the corresponding BSN token, and we will submit that token amount to the Blockswap DAO in order to compete with the rETH to Ethereum pool to make it to the 4%. So that way you can objectively to evaluate the BSN token as a reward, and but also to make the kETH to be more accessible to the crowd and to be more competitive to all of the LSD token on the market. So that's basically our proposal to the allocating BSN token to kETH to kETH and WT Ethereum pool on TL's website. Yeah, feel free to ask me any question. I'll be very happy to answer anything.
Awesome. I'm curious about the process that you guys use to calculate the necessary rewards during the back testing phase. Would you be able to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so basically we will just, in the proposal, we are suggesting we can backtest the kETH to Ethereum pool on Uniswap v3. So we'll have that pool first without any reward to see the trading volumes and all of that. And after the first month of the organic growth of the kETH, we can backtest our strategy on that pool. And after that, we can to see the APR of the kETH to Ethereum pool. let's say maybe it is like I said before, 2%. So we will calculate the BSN token. But there's a thing that I've seen a lot of people mention in the proposal is that we don't really know the BSN token, the value of the token. So maybe if we have the token at the price of the value of the token, we can calculate it back to to the pool to estimate the estimated BSN token amount, and we treat that amount back to the pool to as an incentive to draw more people to deposit to the pool.
Awesome. Thank you for that explanation. Does anybody else have any other questions for Pat? Going once, going twice. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Pat. Appreciate the explanation. If anybody wants to look more into this, you can find his proposal on our governance forum. But I see that Dimitro, your mic is working now. Would you like to give that another try and hop up here and talk about SafeStake's temperature check?
Yeah, hi Eden, hi guys. Yeah, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Mitro. I'm a part of SafeStake community management team. And just as a quick intro, SafeStake is a solution for Ethereum staking. It is DVT solution. So it is basically is distributed validated technology solution. And in short, our DVT technology solution splits a validator private key into multiple shares and distributes those shares to multiple decentralized operators. So this brings more safety to a staking process. And also, long story short, for the past few months, I believe, our team members from SafeStake and we got from Blockswap, we collaborated on several events and activities on social media channels like Twitter, Telegram, Discord. So there was an initiative from our side to officially document our collaboration or initiatives for collaboration. So for that reason, we created on your governance forum temperature check. So basically, it consists of two parts. First is collaboration. Basically, it's continue to expand our current collaboration. I hope there will be win-win situation for both of the projects. Basically, we are working on the same field, on Ethereum staking, and I believe this could be successful for both of us. So, and more detailed is mainnet initiatives and incentivized campaign together. So good offer from our side, kind of some budget for our initiative with you guys. So I believe also it will be a win-win situation. So more people, more community members will be going to Blockswap and SafeStake as a staking solutions. And yeah, it will be also beneficial for community because we have two great communities, so we can collaborate closer, which I believe is good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited about your guys' mainnet launch. For those of you guys who aren't aware, SafeStake's DVT UI is it's compatible with Stakehouse validators. So if you are uncomfortable running your own node, you can basically outsource all the node operations by joining one of their node operator clusters via their UI and having their DVT network run your validator for you. And I'm pretty sure you guys have like a DVT token structure or compensation that users have to engage in order to use your services. But other than that, based off of the chats I had with Marco and Chris, I think that users receive all, if not most, of the staking rewards that their validator generates. So that's super, super cool. Glad to see you guys are hitting main nets. Does anybody have any questions for Dimitro about the temp check or SafeStake in general. Going once, going twice. All right, cool. All right, so we'll move on. The next one, I believe we have a post in our governance forum by Gamma, and I believe we have a representative from them here today. So, BP, would you like to step up here and talk about Gamma's proposal?
Yeah, sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so just to give you guys an intro, Gamma Strategies, we're an active liquidity manager specifically on Uniswap v3 and other concentrated liquidity AMMs. I can go ahead and just give a quick demo of our product. Let me just share my screen real quick. Okay, give me 1 second while I give Discord permissions for screen reporting.
All good, all good.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. Let me know if you guys are able to see my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen by any chance?
Yes, I can. I'm
Okay,
assuming
great.
else.
Yeah, so I guess our proposal would be very similar to another LST asset that we're currently managing in production right now for our ETH. So basically, our main strategy for managing LST assets is we manage the liquidity around the on-chain net asset value. So net asset value would be the exchange rate or 1 rETH for ETH. So basically, our strategies based on our backtesting results, like we don't try to manage a fixed range around the market price, as we found that that can incur a lot more impermanent loss. Because the whole goal of LPing is to LP where you think the price where you think the price should be, and it's a lot like hockey. You want to place your liquidity where the puck is going in terms of instead of where the puck is currently at. Otherwise, you could potentially solidify the price at an off-peg exchange rate. So this imagery right here, it's not a live image, but it's just conceptually illustrates our strategies where we'll pull the on-chain net asset value and manage a fixed range around that price, and then we'll establish certain reset triggers where it'll reset once it hits this bound, and it'll reset in a new range. So that's in a nutshell how it works. And in order to get like the on-chain net asset value, well, like if you look at the token price for our ETH, if you just look at, you could get the exchange rate and you'll see that 1 ETH is worth, or 1 rETH is worth, this is in way 1.08 rETH. So that's, and if you want to see it in production right now, you could see, I think this has been live for close to 6 months. You'll see the various stats. Hold on, let me just show you for the last 30 days. So you could see the way that the price and the order range works for the last 30 days. Like the outline box is where our ranges are, and you could see how it gradually rebalances every few days, where occasionally you'll have like an off-peg price. I mean, these events are few and far between where it'll go out of range, but it'll almost always come right back within range to where it's currently pegged. And we also provide analytics to our users where you'll see these different positions. So gamma versus hold. This is, a lot of times with LPing on V3, a lot of people wonder, is it better to LP or is it better to just hold the assets individually? And so this provides like a transparent interface where you could see, okay, had you LP'd with Gamma, here's what your performance would have been versus had you just held the assets. So, a positive value here means it was better to LP with us versus holding. A negative value indicates that it was worse worse to LP than to hold. So as you can see here, within the last 30 days, the Gamma LP position did 0.7% better than simply just holding the assets. And so the Gamma position here, this is the total USD return of the liquidity mining rewards and the fees accrued from our positions. And you could see the initial deposit. If this tracks like the value of your initial deposit, 30 days ago, this tracks the value of holding like 100% rETH versus 100% WETH. So the main goal with the LST assets, in this case kETH, like we'd really want to outperform this figure right here, 100% kETH, because that's the opportunity cost of LPing. You need to outperform the LST, the staking yield, in order to make LPing worth it, or make it a rational decision for LPs to LP. So you could see like this has been live for a little over 6 months now. And you could see the relative stats. You could see, okay, rETH in 6 months time, it did 5% yield. It did overall 5%, whereas the Gamma position was about 2.8% higher. Most of the yields right now are, like you could see right now that a lot of the yields actually don't come from the liquidity mining rewards, but they come from the fees. But obviously this could be just an aspect of just rETH token. There's the reason why rETH tends to get a lot of volumes is because it's a lot of times their validators are in very high demand. So if they don't have enough space for the validators, they're the only other places to swap on the market. So when you have good amount of swap volumes, it involves less need to have RPL rewards. So we can certainly like track this over time. Like we have this dashboard will be made public for anybody who provides. You guys are free to adjust these rewards such that we're always kind of outperforming just the regular staking rate. And you also have the benefit of potentially having fee APRs, which will reduce the potential incentives. So right now with this position in particular, we have like our positions are ERC20, which allow them to be incentivized via a Master Chef contract. So Rocket Pool right now, they're incentivizing our position with 24 RPL per day. But we also have other integrations with other protocols, like for example, Angle Merkle. They use a Merkle root system where it doesn't involve staking the LP token, and you could also incentivize positions that are not necessarily just our position, but you can incentivize LP NFTs, you can incentivize active managers such as Gamma or Unipilot or Tea House Finance. And it'll do so in a uniform way. It'll do so in such a way where the rewards will get allocated pro rata to the LPs, ALMs included, plus LP NFTs by a uniform metric in terms of like how many fees that they accrued per as a ratio of the overall pool. So you could see that type of integration. We have that on Retro. So Retro, this would be like, for example, WMatic Matic X is another LST pair. This is done via Angle Merkle, where you can pretty much the Angle Merkle program. It'll query all. It's an off-chain solution, but it will query all the. The main advantage is it's completely. It's completely fair to all liquidity providers, whether you're providing through an ALM, whether you're providing individually. It'll reward all ALMs equally according to the same criteria, and you could see, the various metrics here where it'll show you, let's say, for a position like WMatic, MEMatic, or something like that, it'll show you like the base Gamma APR. It'll show you the average APR for other outside LPs, but yeah, the main thing here is that it'll reward all LPs evenly. So essentially, this helps put your BSN rewards to the best use. where you won't be incentivizing, positions that are out of range. You'll only be incentivizing positions that are actually earning fees. But of course, the drawbacks of that would be, a lot of times if you're let's say your position were to go off peg, and let's say, the peg price is here, but let's say the price is currently trading above peg or below peg, you could potentially be incentivizing liquidity to cement around the non-peg, the off-peg price, which may not be entirely ideal. So for Rocket Pool, for them, they found it advantageous for them to just incentivize our positions because we solidify liquidity around the peg price, which technically is where it should be trading. So so that's sort of a lot of details on our strategies and how others have incentivized their positions. Happy to maybe take a little break and see if any of you guys have any questions on our strategies and things like that.
Thank you so much for that demo. I really like that feature you guys have that compares the performance between LPing versus holding the assets. I think that's like some really awesome transparency. But does anybody else have any questions for BP about Gamma and their temp check? Going once, going twice? Nope.
Yeah, and that's like one of the big, like I think you mentioned a good point. Like the analytics is something that's I think is really important because without the analytics, there's really no validity to what we're doing. So yeah, that's one of the things that we've I mean, it's not perfect, but generally speaking, it should be correct. So yeah, I think for just in terms of the feedback we've gotten from other communities, like I think the analytics section showing gamma versus hold versus the different metrics is something that other people have gotten a lot of value from. So yeah.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, thanks again, BP. Appreciate the explanation. It was very, very helpful. You guys, if anybody else wants to dive deeper into Gamma's proposal, you can find it on our governance forum. But with that being said, I see that did he leave? Oh no, Kent Philly. Kent Philly is here in the chat. I believe you are applying for the Grant Council, which is really exciting. So I would like to give you the stage to allow you to talk about that.
GM, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. Thanks for your time. I am Kent Philly and applying for the Grants Management Committee. I've been in the Ethereum space since 2017 and wasted a lot of money and had good education on what not to do. And so since I am not a programmer, I'm an analyst and a storyteller, I have decided to focus on helping onboard newbies or people who lost their way in the Solana ecosystem to, stake ETH and self-custody. I run a couple Rocket Pool nodes and I run the Stake Rocket Pool channel. And we've got some integrations with university students who want to run nodes. That's where we are getting more decentralized and node operators is something I'm really passionate about. And so I've been doing that in this rock community for a little over a year and now partner with Sunshine, who is launching a program to get female node operators in the space to create more content around Ethereum staking guide. And the hope is to be able to connect the Blockswap with global rising talent. Just another shout out to the group is Aya based out of Africa. There's a great named Eric who is highlighted Green Pill podcast, and he's interested in running a node in Uganda, and they've been doing some virtual work in onboarding people locally to him. And so my hope is to help find the hardworking individuals who need support, provide it to them, and how I can better connect the Blockswap ecosystem with different types of participants. Happy to answer any questions, and hoping to actually interview some of the individuals here if they're interested, or the Ethereum staking guide channels, or even with regards to She nodes. It's great to hear about more DVT solutions, and I'm a big fan of what Gamma helps provide as well. That's all I've got.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kent. Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, Kent has been super helpful making content, helping us promote Steakhouse in a very user-friendly and digestible way for, like he said, the newbie users. So yeah, does anybody have any questions for Kent? Going once, going twice? Nope. Okay, well, best of luck on the application, Kent. Moving forward, I think the last thing we wanted to cover was an ecosystem alignment temp check pushed by the Blockswap. Derek, would you like to elaborate on that temp check?
Yeah, sure. I can speak on that a little bit. So I think the intention that with that proposal is just to find some alignment with the rest of the Ethereum ecosystem, to find other protocols or DAOs that align with Ethereum, and basically give them some tokens with the intention that they will vote on the different processes within the Blockswap DAO and get them into the DAO's ecosystem, so that there can be some more members with vested interest in Blockswap that are also very interested in Ethereum. Now, this is something that would take both coordination of the Grant Council and Liquidity Council, and I think we'll hear a bit more from them next. I see we have some of the members here now where they can share their own initiatives, but this would be something where they could help find some people that would align, and it would be expected that if these protocols did come in and were to take some of these BSN tokens, that they would also provide the Blockswap DAO with the ability to get some of their tokens just to vote. And if there's any sort of time when people don't want the tokens anymore, they could be returned rather than sold on the market. So it's not necessarily implied or intended as an exchange of funds, but rather intended as an exchange of voting power and to signal some sort of ecosystem alignment.
Super exciting. Super exciting. Does anybody have any questions about that temp check proposal? Nope. Okay. Well, I'm just checking our list of items one more time, but I believe we covered everything that we wanted to cover. So I guess with that being said, unless anybody has any other questions or anything else to add, we can wrap up this call, but I'll give you guys a chance really quick to add anything if anybody has anything to say.
Yeah, I was hoping to hear from the Liquidity Council and Grant Council, but I see that Smeety Boop just hopped off. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.
Hey, this is Kent Philly. Aiden, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Kent.
Cool. Thanks for confirming. I wanted to hear if anybody else was aware of a staking summit coming up around DevCon that ETH Stakers putting on.
I'm aware of it.
Cool. I don't think many people are aware of it, but it may be an opportunity for the group here to share more of what you offer to the community and to connect with others who are interested in similar things that this community is. It's run by ETH Staker, and I don't think many people will be able to go to this, but I've joined virtual events for the last few years and found them beneficial. So wanted to propose the idea and hear feedback from others on, if the community wants to help support or participate in this event.
I think Derek can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think we may have people there already representing Blockswap. But I don't know much about it, so I'm gonna hold my tongue. I don't want to say anything incorrect. Um, but thank you for bringing that to the community's awareness. Um, and if you want to continue that conversation, um, I'd suggest maybe posting something in general chat or something, and seeing if or the DAO chat, and seeing if anybody is interested in pushing the ball forward on that, to spread more awareness. But yeah, thanks again for bringing that to our attention and awareness. Is there anything else that you or anybody else would like to add before we end this? Going once, going twice. Nope. Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys. We'll see you guys in the chats.